Hello everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, painting live on August 26th at 7 p.m. And we are working on our August box, which is Gourds and Dragonflies. And this is our Gourd and our Dragonfly with our silkscreen technique. So this was our box for August. And last week we completed our Dragonfly. And we also did our saran wrap squishing technique on our gourd, and now that sat and dried all week, and we will probably end up finishing early because all we have left to do is our silk screen on our gourd. And then we do have a hole in the top for our I thought we could use a piece of rope which was included in your box for our stem, just for something a little different. So in your box, you also had a nice little package of silk screens that we made for you guys as part of the box. We have our Welcome Autumn, and then we did include 2 dragonflies just because they're a little bit more delicate, so you do have an extra one. Do you have painter's tape handy, Courtney, or not really quick? Because I could just show them a little trick with their...
Do you think I have painter's tape?
So if you want, you could put painter's tape on your silk screen to help make them last a little bit longer. The silk screens are made with a die cut machine. So we got a piece of hair in this one. So you can make your own silk screens. You can go on to Drew Woodward's page, and when Courtney gets back in here, she can share that. So using one of the die cut machines, the yellow is you can use any color transfer. I just used the yellow. I thought it'd be nice and bright for our fall. It's heat transfer vinyl, and it's the Sizer SISER Easy Weed, meaning it's easy to pull out the cut part. So it's Sizer Easy Weed vinyl, the heat transfer vinyl. So they usually call it HTV, heat transfer vinyl. And it's the Sizer brand Easy Weed. And then there is a mesh fabric inside there, and that is silk fabric. And it's 80 mesh, so that's the size, how many holes per square inch. It does come in different like 120, but when I watched Drew Woodward with her video on how to make this, she used the 80 mesh, so that is what we use. So you could just go on Amazon and type in 80 mesh silk, and it comes up by the yard, so you can buy a yard of that. Will give you more than you'll probably use. And that's just silk, it's just a fabric. So then you would cut out your design that you want on your heat transfer vinyl with your die cut machine, and then you would weed it out. And then you would iron on to your silk, and then you can cut it out, and then you have your own handmade or homemade silk screen. Now these are washable. If you use them really gently, you can just a little soapy water, or use your sprayer on your sink sprayer to spray them out. And then to help expand their life, you can also take some painter's tape and run it along your edges. It'll just help have your edges hold up longer so that they don't fray. So we would just put our half on the front, and then you can just take that and fold it over.
Do you know where you watched your original video?
It was on Drew's Mud Zone.
Oh, okay.
So Courtney will put that link on there so you guys can actually watch her video on how to make it. But it's just the heat transfer vinyl by Sizer, the Easy Weed, and then you can put this painter's tape on there to help expand your life so it doesn't fray on the edges. And I don't see our scissors, Courtney. So you can put that on all 4 edges. You don't have to. I mean, I used mine plenty of times and didn't do it, but if you want to do this, it does kind of help your edges last a little bit, hold up a little bit longer. So I just put it on there, folded over, and we did cut them a little bit bigger so that you were able to do that with them. So we'll just put our painter's tape on here. And then just fold it over. Cut off our ends. So you don't have to do this, but I'm just doing it to show you what you can do. You can use that green frog tape too, or any kind of removable tape probably will work, as long as it's just taping up those sides a little bit. And again, that just keeps your edges from fraying. So we'll do it on this one, but we won't do it on the Welcome Autumn, just so you can see that you can do it both ways. It's in the car. So that's how you can block out your silk screens, just to help keep the edges from fraying so you can use it longer. And then when you're done using it, you can just spray with the sink sprayer, a little warm soapy water, and kind of massage it and wash it out, because it is just fabric inside it. So now we have that done. So Courtney's looking to see if we have questions. She's getting the tablet. So we just want to make sure that's burnished down good. And I like I said, I actually didn't put it on mine, but you can if you want to. So let's see. So let's see if we got any questions here. So hello to everyone. We got Rufus and Marianne and Kathleen and Paula and Connie and Brenda.
I wanted to ask if you can purchase the stencils pre-made.
So we have a question if you can purchase the stencils pre-made. At this time, we do not have the stencils available pre-made, but we want to work on that. Legally, right? And I'm going to need some foil, Courtney. It's just we haven't had time because our local shop is closed for the month. We're trying to get me more organized and ready for winter. So we've been insulating and doing the garage, and also getting the storage unit more organized. So we are working on it. You can, like any of you, can make your own stencils. There's nothing hard about it if you have a die cut machine.
Just copyright laws.
But there are copyright laws with like Cricut. So that's why you'll notice that we do have it includes copyright material of Cricut, and that's actually the cutout design. Because this is part of a project, we can include it in here, but we cannot sell just this cutout piece because that's Cricut's copyright policy. It's their angel policy. You can actually look at that. However, if I am able to make my own, like if I drew a dragonfly or a haunted house or whatever, I can have that converted into a SVG, a cutting file, and then we will be able to sell them. But we're going to, we just need time to work on that. So that's kind of where we're at with that. But to be legal, this is part of this project and it was included with it. So that's how we can do that. So we have our Welcome Autumn, and then in one of your containers you have a product called Silkscreen Medium, and in there is a little powder. It's from Mako, and maybe Courtney has I have the big container here. So you can also purchase the Mako AC310, which is Silkscreen Medium, and it's just a little powder you sprinkle into your paint to thicken it, and it doesn't take very much, so you have more than enough for this project. But we do offer this as well. I believe Courtney has it on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque .com. You can add it to your invoice just by picking up store pickup, and that's kind of our workaround to not charge shipping. And then she will add it to your invoice when you purchase it that way then. So these are, so Clara mentioned that they have stencils on sale. These are actually a little different than stencils in that they have the silkscreen in them. And with the Silkscreen Medium thickening the paint, it keeps it from running under or bleeding underneath. So you'll find that that's really, really nice. And actually, I like it better than the stencils. So we're going to start with our paint. So I think I need some black brown. So we have our black brown. Let me get our instructions here. So we are on number 3. So we're going to do our usual. I'm using the black brown, which is our Duncan OS 437 black brown. It should be in my car. I don't know. Should be here though. So we have our black brown OS 473 black brown, and we're gonna get a dollop of that, maybe like a half a teaspoon or so. And now we are going to take our Silkscreen Medium and we're going to sprinkle it on there. You don't want to put it in one pile because then it will get really thick and kind of dry and too much. You actually want to sprinkle it. So I'm actually sprinkling it. And now I'm going to take my palette and kind of, so you can see it already like thickened right where it was. And I'm going to work that into it. And we want it, the instructions say thick like peanut butter, but we actually want it probably as thick as cold peanut butter. So it's got to be fairly thick, like a paste. And then I want to kind of mush that down with that palette knife, so I just really work that Silkscreen Medium into that. That was the hardest part, was to get this at the right texture so that it wouldn't bleed underneath. If you have like the ceramic tile, that would actually probably work a little better than the foil. But you can see it's getting nice and thick. Kind of not pasty like yet, but it's getting there. So I'm just keep mushing it down. And with time it kind of sets up a little more too, so I don't want to add too much more of the powder yet. So we're just going to keep mushing it and get it nice and mushy and kind of let it get to its paste consistency. So you can see it's thickened it quite a bit. So just keep mushing it here. And I think I'll get just a little bit more. So I'm going to just go in there and sprinkle another pinch on there. And then mix it in some more. Because seems like the thicker it was, the better it worked. So has anyone used this yet? I know, trying to think, someone sent a picture that they had. I think it was Rufus maybe has hers done already. Ray, it was Ray, okay. So it's getting thick, but I probably want it just a little bit thicker. We'll sprinkle a little more. It's kind of ends up being the thickness of, I would say, compare it to the metallics. The rub-on metallics are fairly thick, so that's kind of what you can compare it to.
You don't sell these at the Hobby Lobby, right?
What's that?
The silk screens.
They may sell silk screens at Hobby Lobby, but silk screens are different than the stencils. The silk screens actually have the fabric in them. Okay. So you can see it's fairly thick right now. Hopefully you can see that. Kind of like gummy thick. I just kind of compare it to paste. Okay, so we got that on there. So now I'm going to, let's see if we got any message. Denise did the Dragonflies. Clara did hers with gold. Oh, that's a good idea. All right, so I'm going to just kind of center my welcome autumn on here where I want it. and I kind of did it on the bottom more. And then I'm going to start in the middle and work my way out, because that way you can kind of work out any wrinkles that are in it, because this is a round piece instead of a flat piece. So we'll start from the center. So now I'm going to put my fingers in that paint that we just mixed up, and I'm going to gently start in the middle and rub kind of light and kind of smear it down into that silk screen. And you can see like where the L is there. Now it's going right into that fabric. And we'll get a little bit more, and we'll go now to the C or the O. I guess it's the C. And just kind of rub it down in there. So it's fairly easy once you get the texture of the paint figured out. That was the hardest part. And then you want to keep holding that down fairly snugly so it isn't moving on you. This is actually really a great, there's so many designs you can do. You can actually go on like Etsy and type in the word silkscreen, and there's a lot of people selling silkscreen. The thing is, like, I'm commercial, so that's where my copyright problem comes in, that we have to be sure we're using original things or have the commercial license. Yeah, but if you guys are using them for personal use, check out Etsy. There's tons of silkscreen people on there. Like, there's one lady I seen, she had, you could get a whole Halloween collection for like $4, or a whole Christmas collection for $4. And I mean, it just really opens up the door for things you could do. You could put these on snowmen, like the bundle up snowman belly, or just a ton of stuff. I'm thinking like the Finn, the gnome on his sign, like to put trick or treat, or maybe bats up on his hat. There's just a ton of stuff you could do with these silk screens, and they're available. I mean, you can find them on Etsy. Lots of people making them for personal use.
When you go to use them for commercial selling.
Yep. So it's just when for commercial selling, you have to make sure you're legal with the copyright. So, and some of them do sell the commercial license for their copyrights too, so we may even do that at some point, instead of me like going through the whole creating and making new files and all that. So I just keep grabbing my black brown, and I'm just rubbing it, not really hard, but kind of hard, just to get it into that silk screen through that fabric letters. So you don't want to you want each letter to be completely covered with the brown. And then I'm kind of like always holding down my middle. And now I'm going to work my way out. So you can see it wants to kind of like ripple here because it's round. But if you go a letter at a time, you'll be able to get those ripples out. You just don't want to do it all at one time, because then you'll end up with your ripples. But if you do each letter at a time and move from your center out, you should be fine. Yep, so I'm holding it really snug with actually all 3 fingers. And then just start from the center out. So the paint is actually kind of holding it down once you get the paint in each of those letters.
How hard is it to hold?
How hard is it to hold? It's not hard.
Or is it hard to hold it still?
No, I mean, I'm just holding it with these 3 fingers. And then I'm working my way out, because see, like here it wants to ripple now because we're round. So now I'm going to lift this finger up and just push that ripple up a little bit so it's not where my letter is. And now I am holding it with this finger too, but I'm rubbing with my index finger. And then once the paint is kind of in the letters, it kind of holds it down.
You can use painter's tape to hold it down.
I don't think the painter's tape will hold it down well enough.
It might move.
Yeah, because you need to be able to move it as you go from the center out, because you'll have those ripples in there.
Only because your piece is round? Or
because the piece is round, right? If it was a flat piece, you probably could tape it down with painter's tape. But because this is a round surface, I kind of have to be able to move it. You can see like there's that wrinkle there. But because I can move it, I can just work like letter by letter. So now like the M is popped up here, but that's okay because when I push it down, it goes back down. So now we'll come over to this side so you can see like it's, so my T is down nice. So now I want to work on my U. So I just kind of flatten out the U, but then that puts kind of a wrinkle there, but that's okay because our T is already done. And then our A is kind of up, but that's okay. We'll work on the U here first. And you can see it's kind of just staying down in the other areas. So now I have my U done, so I'm just going to come now to my A, kind of flatten that A out. So now you can see my ripple is up here, but that's okay. We're not worried about that because the W is already done. We're just worried about getting the A flat, and like there's a ripple there, but that's okay because we're working on the A and we already have that done. Over there where it wants to ripple.
I think Blanca's asking just the top and bottom, like where your fingers are.
Yep, I'm just holding here because like the paint is holding the other letters down already. So I'm just like focusing on each letter at a time. Let me just rub this in and then I'll look at the comments to see if I can. Okay, so now I can see my W, I didn't go all the way up, so I can come back. Kind of rub my...
Lisa asked if she can get a Cricut machine, where would she order the materials to make one like these?
Okay, so if you have a Cricut or the Silhouette or any of those die cutting machines, I just went on to Amazon and ordered my supplies. I mean, there's tons of different, you can go on eBay or you can go to Hobby Lobby. I just got it from Amazon because it was the quickest and easiest way to get it for me. And of course, there's all different prices, so you want to look at the different prices, you know, compare prices and what you're getting. So I'm just going back and looking so I can see in the bottom of my M here, I need a little more paint. I can see my rust through it. And you don't want gobs of paint on top of your silk screen. You want to kind of rub it down in there. So that's kind of it. That's really it. And now I'm just going to start from one corner and just lift it really kind of gently. I'll probably need a clean rag, yep. So I'm just peeling it back real gently. And just like that, we have a beautiful welcome autumn. I mean, it's super simple, you guys. You may, like you could practice on a piece of paper. If you want to practice on something before you go onto your piece, you don't have to go right onto your piece. You can silkscreen on a t-shirt. I practiced on paper for a while until I got this texture right. That was the hardest part, was getting the paint. So you can see it's really thick right now, and that's what you want. You want it to be really thick so it doesn't bleed underneath your silk screen, so that your letters are nice and sharp around. You don't want it to be like real schmeary. So that looks really, really well. So that's how easy it is, you guys. It really is. I'm sure probably tons of you have friends, even if you don't have a Cricut, you probably know someone that has a Cricut or a Silhouette, and there's a couple other brands out there too. And then I'm just washing my hand off because I had the paint in it. But again, it's just the heat transfer vinyl, and it is the Sizer Easy Weed brand, meaning you can pick out the letters really easy. And then it's ironed on to 80 mesh silk. So if you go to Amazon and type in 80 mesh silk, you'll have different ones come up. It's usually sold by the yard.
So I'll take 80 mesh silk.
Yep.
And what's the other thing?
And the other one is the heat transfer vinyl by Sizer. I think it's Siser, but it might be two S's. And then it's Easy Weed, EASY, and then WEED. And we did try a different brand that wasn't Easy Weed, but because we had to do a number of these, the Easy Weed definitely was easier because we had so many to do. But that's as simple as it is. And there is also a group on Facebook called Die Cut Users. And there are a lot of different ceramic people in there and clay people. They will also make stencils and do this on greenware and with glaze and stuff. So you could always check that group out as well.
What is that called?
Ceramic Die Cut Users group on Facebook. The best one though, if you want to learn, just check out Drew Woodward's on Drew's Mud Zone on actually how to make your silk screen, but there's nothing to it. So now we have our welcome on there. And then from there, I just randomly placed some dragonflies. So I have my dragonfly, and we're just gonna, I just put one up here kind of flying away. So you can see now the dragonfly, it doesn't want to ripple as much because it's a smaller piece. So I'm just gonna kind of center it on here. Again, I'm kind of holding my left hand in the center, top and bottom. And when I push this out, that it'll flatten out. So now I'm going to go into my black brown and get some black brown. And then I'm just going to rub in a circle. Or you can rub in one direction, whatever works for you. And just kind of rub our paint through that fabric. And now I'll rub out, and that will help take any ripples out of that the vinyl, because it is a round surface, so it is harder to do on a round surface than a flat surface. But you could do this on like plates. You can do it with the a lot of people will do it with the like one stroke type underglazes. You could do it with that. You can thicken whatever paint you're using, whether it's the one strokes or the acrylics, it'll work. And then I'm just making sure I rub it right through the silk, and I don't have a whole big hump on top of my silk, so when I peel it off that it doesn't take it all off. So now I can't see any rust through any of my silk, so I'm just going to go to one corner now and lift it off, and we have a beautiful dragonfly with nice sharp lines. So you could wash this out in between, but it's fairly clean, so we'll just keep going right on around here. So now I'm going to stagger another one, probably going in a different direction here on the side. Again, I want to kind of make that center area snug because we're going to work from the center out. Get my little paint, my thickened paint, rub it through my silk screen. I think again the biggest problem was make sure that paint is thick enough, and you can see it didn't take much. Like you'll have a ton of the Silkscreen Medium left over. The thicker it is, kind of the easier it is, so that it doesn't bleed under there and give you blurry lines. So I'm actually going to, so that's actually kind of stuck down. You can see I can leave a hold of it. The paint is holding it down. But now we have this kind of ripply here, but that's okay because I'm going to start from the middle and come out, and that will get rid of my ripples where the wings are. And then if your paint does get too thick, you can add a drop of your black brown to it and thin it out just a little bit. But it really does work better when it's quite thick. I would say like almost like a shoe paste, if anyone's used a shoe paste. So now we can go to our corner. Now I can see rust through this corner, so I'm going to come back and just touch up that corner a little bit, and this one too. You don't want to see your base coat or your undercoat through your silk, because then it won't be printed well. So we're just going to go to the corner, and you can see we have a nice dragonfly again. So if your silk was getting too clogged up, which it's not bad yet, so we'll keep going, you can just wash it out with some warm soapy water, and then you want to be careful you don't get paint on your fingers and get it all over your gourd.
Yes, if the thickened paint doesn't dry out.
Yes, it does dry. So it's getting drier as it's sitting here, but it's still working fine because it's thick enough. If it gets too thick on you, you can add a drop of the black brown paint to it and moisten it back up. So we'll add another one over here. And again, I'm just going to hold my center. So I have my centers nice and snug. This is loose, but that's okay. We're going to come from the center out. So make sure that's nice and snug. And now I'm just going to rub my paint into my silk screen.
Denise said her dragonflies were kind of fat looking. She's not sure what she did wrong.
So it probably bled underneath your silk screen and made them wider than what they were. So your paint probably needed to be just a tad thicker.
Oh, okay.
So like I said, you can try this out on paper first, or another piece of ceramics if you have a scrap piece, and then just wash your silk screen out and use it when you come to your gourd, because they'll be reusable for quite a while.
After you wash the silk screen, do you have to wait for it to completely dry?
I would just pat it dry so that it is dry, otherwise you're going to thin the paint. So you do want it dry when you're using it, but you should be able to pat that dry with a washcloth or like a dish towel or a bath towel, because you would want it dry. So we're just going to rub that in there. And like, you don't want a whole big pile on top of your silk screen. You want to like rub that right through it so it doesn't peel the paint off when you lift it. So we'll lift this one. So I'm getting a little patchy now. So at this point, you can see that there is spots in my silk screen. I would probably wash this before I went to the next one. But I do have two. We have two of them, so I'll use this one with the blue on it. We'll do a couple more. So now I am out of paint, so I'm gonna mix up some more paint. So we'll get another little pile of our black brown.
Elizabeth asked how long before it dries on the ceramic piece.
It takes a little bit longer to dry because it is thicker.
Let them know what you're talking about.
So we have a question about how long does it take to dry on the ceramic piece. So it's just acrylic paint, and it is just a little bit thicker than if you were painting. So it takes a little time to dry, but not that much. I mean, not like that welcome's already dry, because it is just your acrylic paint. It's nothing special about that.
So you will seal it like normal?
Yep, and it would just get sealed like normal. I used a matte aerosol sealer. So I have my little pile of paint again, and I'm just going to sprinkle my Silkscreen Medium on it. I don't want to just dump it and make one big pile, because then it would get really thick in one spot, and then it's harder to mix. It doesn't take a whole lot of the Silkscreen Medium. Kind of do it as though you're salting your food, I guess. That's how I would. I guess that's how I mix it.
Lisa asked, how does your silkscreen compare to like the Mako silkscreens?
So we have a question: how does my silkscreen compare to the Mako silkscreens? I'm not sure what.
Have you seen a Mako silkscreen?
Yep, Cordy asked what if I've seen a Mako silkscreen. Yes, I have. There's more than one way to make anything. I don't know what size mesh that they use, but it's still your silk fabric and
DIY way to do it.
yeah, but this is just the DIY way to do it. Yep. So again, I'm just smushing down my paint to get that those grains mixed into my paint really well, and you can see it's thickened right up here already. It's kind of gummy actually, and that's the texture that I like it. So I would say that the jar says like peanut butter, or Mako's video says like peanut butter. I like it just probably as thick as cold peanut butter. So it's pretty thick. The thicker the better.
Well, I asked, the or is it?
Yeah. So we have a question. The longer you mix it, it thickens. Yeah, as it sits here, it thickens that way too, just over time.
So time does affect it.
So time does seem to affect it. Yep. So now we have one dragonfly going towards our autumn welcome. So I'm just going to put another one, kind of going away from it. Again, I like to anchor down my middle, so my fingers are on the top and the bottom of my middle. I'm just going to go in and get some of our black brown, kind of rub in a circle, or just, I also like to just like pat down and rub it out. But I do start from the middle and then work my way out. So we have the body done now. So now I'm going to move my fingers over to the wings more so we can kind of get those pat down. Hopefully you guys can see that. Am I on screen yet, Courtney? Good? Looks like it, huh?
Yeah.
So again, I just just touch my finger to that pile of paint and it kind of sticks to my fingers then. So now I will start from the inside of the wing and then work my way out to the tip. So Courtney says we got a question.
Could you put glitter over the paint before removing the screen to make it sparkle, like with the glitter stick?
So I think the glitter, we have a question, can you put glitter over the paint before you remove the silkscreen? I think that would remove your glitter. You could probably sprinkle glitter on it after you remove the silkscreen because it should be wet enough to adhere the glitter. So like now here my body's coming up because I'm out to my wings, but that's okay because we have the body done and we're going to spin it around now. And we're going to just flatten down the other part of the wings.
And I asked how you made out at the show.
So we have a question, how did I make out at the show?
Feels like a month ago.
It feels like a month ago, yeah. I guess only not even a week ago till tomorrow. We did really good. We got our brand new Noel's Christmas tree with one ring and its base. We got a Byron camel to complete a Byron nativity set. What else did we get?
The brush guy wasn't there. The
Silver Falcon was not there, so we didn't get any Silver Falcon.
I have a feeling you were tired.
We did get our order from Glazers, and ladies that went with me actually got a couple birthday presents for me, which is the clay puzzling pumpkins from Michael Harbridge, so that was really fun. So we're going to be doing some pumpkins at the classroom. So now we have our brown rub through. I can't see my rust anywheres. Again, I'm just going to take my corner and peel it off, and you can see we have nice sharp lines. If your paint is too thin, it's going to be wider and it's going to like bleed underneath your silk screen. So I think we can get one more on here, and then we probably have plenty. So we'll kind of just do this one kind of going straight. So again, I'm going to just anchor it down on each side of my dragonfly. You can see it's floppy here, but that's okay because we'll work our way from the middle out. I got to see Sherry the brush lady. What else did we do? Oh, we went to Marcella's afterwards, and then we also went to Pine Cone restaurant in Johnson Creek.
Yeah. By the outlet mall.
By the outlet mall, and I got probably my 5-pound eclair, which I just finished off yesterday, or actually this morning for breakfast. Been eating on that since last Friday. And I got 2, and the second one is in the freezer. Yep, they're huge. It took up the whole box that they put them in. So now this is kind of anchored down. I'm just going to spin it around so I can easily anchor this down. So you can see this is up on the end, but as I work my way out, it will kind of flatten. It'll flatten out, and we'll have a nice dragonfly under there.
A lot of Bisque dealers.
Courtney asked if there were a lot of Bisque dealers. I think there were. There were 3 for sure, maybe 4. People were shopping them quite a bit. I was really surprised.
We don't have a lot of shops.
Yeah, Wisconsin doesn't have a lot of shops left anymore, so did see license plates from Minnesota and Illinois. Okay, so we have our wings all done and our body. I don't see any rust through it. Again, I can just lift it. So now my paint was getting just a little too dry, so you can see it kind of lifted. So at that point, I would take my fingers here and wash them. And you can take one of your paint brushes, and I'm just going to add a drop of water to my black brown. And I'm just going to come back and touch it up with my paintbrush. So that's how you can touch that up too if your paint gets a little too thick. And the other thing is, I would probably suggest washing your silkscreen out. That may have been my other problem. It's getting kind of dirty. So I can show you. So it's looking at my fabric is getting plugged up. I don't know if you can see the little plugs in there. So when you get that plugged up, you want to wash that before you keep going. But I can take my black brown and my paintbrush and just kind of fill it in a little bit. So it's not it would be hard to line it back up. I prefer to just kind of fill it in here.
Which nail tree did you get?
What?
Someone asked what nail tree.
It's just their classic. Yeah, I think it's just the classic. It's called the classic. It has, you can get like 3 rings to it. We got 1 ring. I'm not sure if we're gonna get another one or not. And then the base.
Amanda asked if you saw any of the Clay Magic, the newer gingerbread men.
So we have a question if I've seen any of the gingerbread men there. Yes, there were vendors selling those there. We
would do well.
We haven't gotten any of those. I'm not a real big fan of them, and I can't even tell you why, but
I think they would sell well.
I thought you didn't like them either. No, Cordy's telling me she thinks they would sell well.
I think the ladies would like them.
I mean, they're kind of cute. I'm not going to
Halloween ones
say that they're not cute, but there's a lot of other nicer things, I guess. So I'm just showing you that you can go back with your paintbrush and touch it up if you need to touch it up. I probably, if I wouldn't have been on the live, I would have went and washed out my silkscreen before I did this one. So just to show you that they do get clogged up. So if it's really cloggy looking, you want to wash it out before you keep going. But then you can come back and touch it up with your paintbrush if you need to. And I just used some fresh black brown. And then I'm just painting it in. So we had a long day. I think we left at 6:45 and we probably got home at 8 o'clock that night.
Marcella's busy?
Yes, Marcella's was busy too. So you can go back and touch up your pieces if you need to. So that is as simple as the silk screening is. Super, super simple.
Claire asked how many dragonflies did you put on the board?
So we have a question, how many dragonflies? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I usually like the odd numbers. You could probably put 1 more down here if you wanted. So they're just scattered, just kind of up and down. So at this point, I would make sure it's dry. And like I said, they dry pretty quick. So I would spray it with our matte aerosol sealer. And you can see as this is sitting here, it's getting really, really dry. So if you were keeping going, I would either mix a new batch or add a little bit of paint to it to thin it out. But we're actually done, so I would just crinkle this up and throw it out. I can show you that you can wash these. You can have just a little bowl of dish soap and water. Just put them in there. Kind of rub your fingers back and forth. I mean, it's easier to do it in the sink. But I'm just rubbing my fingers back and forth on the front and the back. You can put it right in the water. It's not going to hurt it. So you can actually see now that one side is clean and one side is dirty. So hopefully you can kind of see. So this side, the silk is cleaned back up. And then the right side, it's still all clogged up. So hopefully you can see that or in the screen. So it's just a little bit of water. I don't even have soap in the water here, but I'm just rubbing my fingers back and forth on the front and back fairly gently. So move it up here so you guys can see it. So you can reuse these, so that's what's really nice about them. I mean, you may not be able to use them 100 times, but as long as you're gentle with them, you can reuse them. I would, like I said, do it in the sink with a little bit of dishwasher. It would be a lot easier, but I just wanted to show you that you can wash them out. Because it's just fabric. The silk is just fabric. It's nothing. So we can actually take this guy now and I can show you it compared to the other one. So now you can see this one's nice and clean. It is wet yet. Like you could take a little hair dryer and dry it some more. But this is the dirty one, so you can see how nice they wash up. So it's just a matter of washing them, let it dry or pat it dry, and you can keep using them. And then if you're afraid of it fraying, you can put the tape around it. That will help save it too. So that is how easy silk screens are, you guys. Could you put the silk on the back of the stencil? So the silk is on the back of the...
I think you're talking about like if you went and bought a stencil.
Oh, if you went and bought a stencil, you'd have to have some kind of iron on. I don't know if like sewing fuse interfacing. If you could probably iron it on with some interfacing, as long as you have something to iron it on with, because like a stencil's not going to have anything iron on the back of it. So I would think if you used interfacing and then your silk, you could do that. So yeah, I would think so. I haven't done it, but I would certainly think that that would work. So that is your silk screens. So how cool is that, you guys? Did you enjoy it or not really? Or you found it too hard? Or
just give it a try.
Give it a try, because it's not hard at all. And like it really opens up a door for a lot of ideas if you have someone with a Cricut or die cutter. So I do recommend mixing your paint with a palette knife or some type of knife where you can really smush that paint down. I guess let us like our video if you did like it. So you can see you have a ton of Silkscreen Medium left, so you can keep trying it. Otherwise, if you need to order, we do have the whole container, and like that'll probably last you a lifetime unless you're doing it commercially. So at this point, I would have my little guy sealed, and then we have our rope in here. And we did put tape around one end to help make it easier to put in there. So Claire's gonna do it tonight when she gets home. All right, cool. Jackie liked it, Amanda liked it, Carrie liked it. Good. We might be doing it in the future on some more stuff too if you guys like it. So let us know if you'd like to see it on something else down the road.
Elizabeth said she didn't know that you could use it with acrylics.
Yep, so Elizabeth says she didn't know it could be used with acrylics. Yep, so like that ceramic die cutters group on Facebook, usually it's just greenware people and glaze people using it kind of more as a stencil. The vinyl, like they may use the, instead of using, like we use the negative, they would use the positive. Put your dragonfly on here and then paint your glaze over the top and then peel that dragonfly off. It's kind of just a different way of using it. So that's why I wanted to show you guys you could do it with the acrylics too. So I'm just going to put some E6000 on my little stem here if I can get it out of my tube. You can use hot glue too if you have that or a different glue. I tend to use E6000 on everything. And it don't want to come out.
Brenda wants
Oh my goodness.
Let it snow on the bundle up snowman.
Yep, I think anything on the bundle up snowman would be really cool. Or on the bundle up reindeer, the bundle up turkey, on Finn the gnome. Let's see, I got really dried up glue here.
I ain't been using it.
No, Courtney's not crafting. She's not keeping it fresh. We got to get her crafting to keep our glue fresh. There we go. We got some fresh E6000. We'll just put that on our tape here. And then that should make it easier to just stick in that hole, kind of give it a little turn, wipe that off. And then if you want, you can even untwirl this so it looks really kind of more frayed. And then just let that dry in there. And then you can glue your Dragonfly on, again with the E6000. And I actually taped this on overnight with some of my painter's tape. That way it gets on there nice. Or you can give me some painter's tape while I hold this on. So I actually, just to go across twice. So I like to actually tape this on overnight. And that way your tape sets up, or your glue sets up really well. So it doesn't fall off. That should be enough. And then I'll just let that sit overnight like that, wherever it is that I want him. And that way we don't, otherwise it seems like you're holding it forever and it wants to fall off. And so that is as simple as our August box could be. Now I do see I must have knocked some of my paint off here. I don't know if that happened this week. You can take some of the rust. And we'll get a little bit of our rust. And I'll just take my little liner that I was using here and whoop, but I got enough for the whole thing to do it. And we'll just dab that up with our rust just to make that white go away. It must have got knocked while I and then I have a little brown here too where I got my fingers in the paint, so you can just touch that up. And that is it. That is your August box, you guys. How cool. So I have a little show and tell. So we'll let that guy dry overnight.
I have just a small handful yet if anybody wants.
We do have a few of those left yet.
Not many.
Let's see. Whoops, next week. So I just started this guy because I know a few of you got extra gourds. So for next week we will be painting the this gourd into a scarecrow. So you can see I have him started. I didn't have time to finish it. So this will kind of be an extra freebie next week. We'll make this guy into, it's just another gourd. And we will make it into a scarecrow. So if you guys tune in next week, we'll be making this guy into a scarecrow, and anybody can do that. I just used salt and pepper shakers to make the circles, and then I filled them in. Do a little line for the mouth, and we are going to put some burlap on here and some straw. And so we'll have a scarecrow next week, so it'll be an extra project kind of for our August box. If anyone wants to add another gourd to their box for next month, we have our large gourd, we have the chubby gourd and the skinny gourd, which we got late, so we weren't able to tell you guys that we had that, but you can let Courtney know those if you want any of those for your next box. But next week we will be painting this as a freebie. We'll be making it into a scarecrow, and if we complete that, maybe we'll be able to have another freebie, and we'll do another freehand Halloween scene on another one. So that'll give you guys a couple things extra to do with gourds. I did have a glazed one, but when I opened the car door when I got here, he fell out onto the road and broke. So I don't have the glazed one to show you, because all of our bisque is fired to cone 04. So if you have access to a kiln, you can glaze them. And I had a crystal glaze on that other one. It was really pretty, but it's in pieces.
Do you have a skinny board in bisque?
I don't have the skinny gourd here, no. I can get you a picture. And then this is our September box. It's our little boy and our little pumpkin boy and our little ghost. So a few of you guys have been getting that box. And then we have all the extras. If Courtney wants to grab those, I can show you those quick. But this is our September box. I have to put glitter on her mask yet, but I keep forgetting Courtney don't have glitter here. Yeah, so we'll have to put glitter. I'll have to take that with me and put glitter on it. But then if you wanted to add, we have
I only have a couple.
a few. We have the Scarecrow Boy. We have the whole set except the fence. I can't find the fence. So we have the Scarecrow, the Kissing Couple. My great nephew says, "Why are 6-year-olds kissing?" So that's that. Let me see. We have the.
There's not many spots left.
We have the cornstalk, but I only have so many of these for the month, and we're almost full on that. But I can do more for October, so you can let Courtney know if you want to get on the list for that.
She's getting close to.
We have the witch. I could probably do more witches because I have 3 of those molds, so maybe like another 5. We have the witch. Clara says she wasn't able to see the bisque on the website. We have the crows, but we may be getting full on numbers of those for September as well, but we could do more for October. So it's a set of 8 cute little crows. There was a set of kittens, and I think we're full on those for September, but you could get on the list for October. There is a little boy rolling a pumpkin and a little girl rolling a pumpkin, and I think that's the entire set.
You don't have a little devil, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know there was one. There's a devil dancing with the little girl, and we don't have that either, but we'll get that the next time we order clay. So those are extras you can add to your box for September. You can go on brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com. And then Courtney has underneath the Brenda's Bisque Box tab where you can add the additional bisque, and you'll just check out and put store pickup so that you don't have to pay extra shipping, because we're offering free shipping for September on any extras, but it has to be to a address and not a P.O. box, right?
I haven't told them that. That'll probably be for October.
Okay, so that'll be for October. But we'll cover it anyway for September.
Yeah.
So let's see, do we have any questions on here? It happens. Yeah, stuff. Yep, Connie knows too. Connie dropped her Donna's watering can when she opened the car door. Yeah, and the greenware broke, so I got to pour her a new one. So yep, the bisque fell on the blacktop outside here tonight, and there it was. So let's see. Anybody have any questions? Yeah, we don't have the little devil, but we'll get him on our next clay order. So that probably won't be till December though. So let's see. Anybody have any other questions? If you guys have trouble with your silkscreen, just take a picture of it and send a message to me, and I can probably walk you through it. The biggest thing is just make sure that your paint is thick enough. Add that silkscreen powder a little at a time. Don't add a ton of it. It doesn't take a ton of it. It's really like salting your food.
And if the extras on the website doesn't work, just send me a message.
Courtney says if the extras on the website doesn't work, send her a message. It may be that it's sold out too. Will it show them that it's sold out if it's sold out? It'll say sold out, okay, because there is limited number on a few of these because we got the crow mold and the kitten mold late. But I will be able to pour more of those for October. Same with the corn. It's been really popular too. But otherwise, I think we should be...
And you can add bisque and supplies from that.
Yep, you can have bisque and supplies you can get on there, and we'll cover the shipping. So hopefully everyone has a great week, and we're actually done really early. We're having our next live after party when, Courtney? It's in September, so we do have that on the calendar. It's like the 3rd.
Plus 7.
The 16th?
Plus 7. The following.
So the 23rd-ish? Yeah. It's like the 3rd Thursday in September. We'll have an after party again.
Oh, tell them about the giveaway.
Then we are doing a special giveaway. When are you doing that?
I'll post it tomorrow.
Courtney's going to be posting tomorrow a special giveaway for a September box. So we were going through the Popeyes drive-through today because it was Jason's birthday and he wanted, Courtney's boyfriend's birthday, he wanted chicken. And the car actually behind us paid for our meal because I had veteran plates on my car after the killings today at the airport. And so when he drove away, the gentleman saluted us, so we know that he was our pay it forward fella. So in honor of that and us paying it forward, tomorrow Courtney's going to post a picture of me holding a flag, and we're going to ask that anyone that knows a retired military or active duty military person that may enjoy the September box to post. You can just post their first name, I guess, and maybe their first initial, and we will do a drawing and give away one of our September boxes just to pay it forward for our lunch, that our dinner that was paid for today, kind of in honor of the soldiers that were killed today. And the winner will have to send us a message with the winner's address so we can mail it to them. So tomorrow we'll be giving away a September Bisque box to one of our military people, either retired or active duty. So if you know someone, when you see Courtney's post the person's first name and initial on there, and we'll be doing a drawing sometime tomorrow as kind of our pay it forward for our supper that we received today. So I think that's kind of about it. Let me see, we got a bunch of any questions on here. The October box is very fallish. Amanda's
pumpkins. I didn't tell which pumpkins.
Oh, so it's very fallish. It's pumpkins basically. Some different pumpkins from a different mold company that we actually got the gourds from there too. So let's see, anything else? We'll be doing that preview probably in 2 weeks. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with them yet. Let's see, what else? So I think that's about it. Again, like if you guys have questions, you can always message us. We may not get back to you that day because we're just super busy trying to get the garage and the storage unit finished up before we open back up here the first Tuesday in September. Clara, what I'm holding is a gourd. It's a large Mako gourd. We also have the chubby gourd and the skinny gourd. And I don't have them with me this week, but I can actually make sure that I bring them next week so you guys can see them. So let's see, we have anything else? Because I think we're kind of done early tonight. Wanda says turkeys. Oh, we don't have any turkeys in the future. Maybe next year we can. It's hard to find a really good turkey that fits the budget for the box. They're either really big or really little.
I get to the Larry and
the Larry. We do have Larry the turkey. If you'd want that in Bisque, you could add that to your box for October. Yeah, November. We do have like the big Kimple turkey, but that's quite big. I don't know if that'll fit in one of your boxes, Courtney, or not, if someone wanted that. I actually don't like pouring it. It likes to crack. Courtney don't think she wants to ship it. Yeah, he's got a hollow center. We do have the bundle up turkey. He may be okay to ship. And I put blessed and thankful and grateful embossed into his belly too. We did go over our mold list for the rest of the year and part of next year, so we kind of got that squared away for you guys. We do have some good stuff coming. Yep, new mold companies and just some good stuff, so we're excited about that. So I think that's about it, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed your silk screens. Let us know if you want more projects with those on them. We are planned Black Friday. That could be something you could even do a silk screen on, one of those items that we're going to be offering for Black Friday.
Doing a first time thing for Black Friday.
Yep, first time thing for Black Friday. So hopefully that's something you guys are looking forward. It'll be kind of a live sale, after party, Black Friday thing. Special. So otherwise, next week, tune in and we will be creating. I'll have this guy finished and we will then start from the beginning and show you guys how to make a scarecrow out of a gourd. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. We're going to have Jason's birthday cake since we're done early, and have a great week, you guys. And if you ever need us, just send us a message and we'll try to help you as much as we can. Thanks everyone, and good night.